want to go about it. The other question I seem to get, and then I'll go to a break and we'll come back and we'll start the Q&A, is that a lot of people ask me why I don't interview Billy Catolo Jr., why I don't interview Dominic Montiglio, why I don't interview Frank Ganji, and there's a reason for that. I do not give a platform, nor will I ever give a platform to informants. Now, a lot of people are going to bring up another guy. I cannot legally, nor do I really want to talk about that other guy, and I'm not going to. But there was a time and a place when I was getting started that I had to do certain things. And that's the reality of it. I've never hid that. I've been quite honest about that. I think those that have followed the story know really what happened and how we dealt with it and et cetera. It's not that informants don't have a story to tell. They do. The problem is they're liars. And that's the thing. There is probably, and I'm not defending anybody when I say this, there's probably only one guy that I've ever socialized with in any kind of form or fashion. And we're not talking a friendship. We're just talking like a little banter. Hey, how you doing? This is my story, et cetera. There's only one guy I think who has been really sort of not a fucking liar about things, and that's Frank Ganji. I don't respect what he did, and he knows that. And I don't even think he respects what he did. But given time, situation, places, people have to do what they have to do. I don't fucking agree with it on any level. I never fucking will. But of all the people that I've ever bumped into or who have ever messaged me, he seems to be the one that is really most on the level about everything. He doesn't hide anything about his life. He doesn't hide what he did. And to some extent, and I'm not saying that I respect the guy because I can't respect somebody that tells on somebody else. What I can say is that somebody who doesn't hide facts, admits to what they did, doesn't like what they did, is willing to take shit for doing what they did, has a little more moxie than somebody that's still parading around on every fucking junky, crappy, shitty fucking grade D fucking internet show, still spewing the same fucking lies. Especially when all of them lies have been refuted and have been put out there with evidence that supports all the bullshit that they say. You're always going to have them guys that want to point and blame everybody fucking else for their problems. Well, if he didn't fucking do this, I wouldn't have done this. Ron Brevity, sorry. But I think the point is that a rat is a rat is a rat, right? We're always going to say that on this show. It's the way it's always going to be. But I just can't give a platform to somebody that has essentially lied their entire life to get out of jail because they didn't want to pay for their crimes. But like I said, there's 50 shitheels, but for every shitheels, there's one guy out there, maybe two guys out there that are blunt. They tell the truth about it for the most part. And so, yeah, there is a part of me that is more apt to listen to what they have to say. But at the end of the day, if I give them a platform, then every fucking rat and their mother is going to come out and want to be on the show. And I just can't do that. I'm not going to sit on my show and listen to anybody that's informed on anybody else, at least not to the extent where if I could get like a guy who's a rat and a guy who got ratted on and they want to fight it out on my show, I'll do that all day long. I got no problem with that. But just to sit there and actually let them tell their story, I can't do. I let Vlad TV, let them put all the rats on, let all these other little jerk off shows that don't have any viewers put rats on. I'm just not going to do it. It's just not what I believe in, and it's something that I can't follow. And that's the reality of it. Listen, I can detach myself from anything, and I can look at somebody's life as a whole and say, wow, you fucked up. You did what you thought you had to do. But I also, at the same time, while I can humanize somebody to an extent and look at what they did, I just can't respect it. And that's where we stand with that. And that's exactly why I won't have those guys on. A lot of people, and that's the thing. And I'm trying to break it down in a way that makes a little bit of sense, but it's like what I do is mob history, right? For the most part, I talk about some current stuff, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to take a stance of defending this guy, then how can I turn around and just like fucking let some fucking shitheel come on my show? I just can't do it. Now, a lot of people have been bringing up the fucking Rat Zeus, Michael Rat Zeus, Fran Zeus. Here's my thing. And I don't want to get long-winded on it because I've already gone way past what I wanted to. But the reality is, I don't like Michael Franzese. I never will. He's a fucking rat. He's a fucking liar. He testified against people, put them in prison, made guys' names up to the FBI and their ranks. The guy's a fucking rat. He can go on whatever station he wants. He can say whatever the fuck he wants about me. But at the end of the day, I can put my head on my pillow at night not worrying that I'm a piece of shit. And that's what he is. He can, and listen, people are coming to me now and saying, oh, did you see how he changed his story on this video to this video? Of course. It's the same thing I've told you about the majority of these fucking rats. This is what they do. If you go on video 1, I killed 7 guys. Video 2, I killed 15. Video 3, oh, I whacked 19. Video 4, oh, I baseball batted 1,000,000 guys. Tape 6, tape 7. Oh, I baseball batted 2 guys. Oh, I was a captain. Oh, I was just a soldier. Oh, I was this guy's babysitter. It's all lies. Why people continuously support people like that is beyond my understanding. And what you need to do, if you're going to be like a mob genre fan and you're gonna call it as it is, call it down the fucking middle. If you see a non-rat lion, call him out on it. It's as simple as that. But the thing is what people aren't doing is they're going to one place for facts coming out of a rat's fucking mouth. Then there's another place you can go that'll totally refute everything they just said. So the question becomes, why is there this fucking hero worship for a fucking guy who tells on everybody? Is it because that's the closest you're ever going to get to organized crime? That you feel like you have to go hang out with these people or you have to talk to them? Oh, you're special because they called you by your first name? The reality is know who you're dealing with. And it goes all the way back to these people that write letters to fucking serial killers and God knows whatever else. They write them, oh, this guy knows my name. I'm so excited. Then the minute that guy bucks or acts fucking goofy, you guys want to run and call the police. Don't get involved. There's 2 sides of the street you can fucking live on. You can live on the side of the street where you can admire the history of it, be a student of the fucking game, so to speak, and just kind of look at it for what it is. But then there's the people that want to take it one step further. They're the ones that get the tracksuits, the pinky rings, and they start going and trying to hang out at social clubs, and they start trying to go to hang out with this guy and this guy and this guy. Then the second that these guys, who are tough individuals, show you who they are, you fucking shit yourself. So stay based in reality. The Sopranos is a TV show not meant for you to live. Stay based in reality. If you stay based in reality and you keep yourself on the left side of the street and just kind of look at the history of it all and just kind of say, well, this is an interesting subject, that's one thing. Don't try to mix yourself in it. The minute you mix yourself in it, if you're not from the streets, you don't know the streets, stay the fuck out of the streets. Street lights come on, you go the fuck home. Ma's calling you on a corner, go home. Lights are on, get the fuck off the street. It is a dog-eat-dog world. You have no idea what you're getting involved in. You have no idea the people you think that you see a photo of somebody and, oh, they were a tough guy. They did this, they did that. They're murderers, they're thieves, they're robbers. And you think for 1 second that they're going to ingratiate you, let you walk in and hang out and sip coffee with them and talk shop? Hey, remember in 1987, you cut that broad's head off and it stuck a stick through her ass out her mouth? I mean, the reality is that you're not going to get close to anybody because anybody that's from the streets in their right mind is not going to have anything to do with you. And you just need to be cognizant of the people that you're around. I'm not saying all of them are evil. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but they are who they are. They don't wear the fucking mafia decoder fucking ring. They don't fucking wear the mafia name tag. You know who they are because they stand out. There is a certain sort of characteristic and a certain sort of attitude and panache that these guys have, and they are who they are. So if you're not from the streets, you live out in the fucking suburbs, you don't know nothing about nothing, stay the fuck away from them. Because you're going to bring yourself nothing but misery. You're going to bring nothing but stress to yourself. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten messages from people where they're freaked out because they went and hung out somewhere they shouldn't have fucking been. Somehow they get in and they see something that terrifies them, or they hear something that terrifies them, and these people can't sleep for a fucking week. So realize who you are, where you are. You don't know nobody, especially these people that, it's one of my big pet peeves, and then I'm going to shut the fuck up. One of my biggest pet peeves is these people that post shit on fucking Facebook, social media. They go out and buy the Indonesian or the Indian silk looking suit for $5 at a fucking thrift store. They get a nice tie, they get the wingtips, the ring, they comb their hair back, and all of a sudden, they're they're Vinny the cheese grater, Nunzio, or some shit like this, and they try to go hang out in spots. And maybe they meet somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and then all of a sudden they're friends with these people. And then they use that as some sort of fucking, and I don't get it, they use it as some sort of springboard to act tough and say, oh, well, I know so and so, you better be careful messing with me. I've never repeated that sort of phrase in my life, because if I can't handle it myself, I don't need to use anybody else's fucking reputation to make me a tough guy. It's all about being tough yourself. And there's hundreds of these people on fucking Facebook, hundreds of them. They show photos of fucking money and the fucking 1986 fucking Rolex watch, and they want you to fucking believe there's somebody. Meanwhile, you look at their friends list, and they fucking friend requested every fucking rat there's ever been, every fucking wannabe there's ever been, any fucking actor who played a gangster they want to be friends with, because that makes them somebody. You're somebody on your own fucking laurels, not because you know anybody. And these guys glorify it, and they throw it out there, and they brag, and they friend request people they don't even fucking know. Trust me, I know people in that way of life in the streets who I have other friends who are friends with other people who friend request these guys. And some of these guys look at me and say, who the fuck is this? How the fuck should I know? You know, and so it just, I think people have a warped sense of reality. Everybody wants to play gangster, but nobody really wants to play gangster when it's time to be gangster. And that's just the truth about it. So it's one of the things that is pissing me off. All right, so all that being said, as we go to break here, we got a commercial for the John Gotti III fight May 31st. Make sure you listen in on that. There's also going to be a video coming out with that as well. We come back, we're going to get to a Q&A followed by Jimmy Failure. And I think that's that. So stay tuned on Mob Talk Radio. We'll be back in a second.
Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Firsthand, I know what my grandfather did. And I'll give you an example. Okay? And just because you do good deeds doesn't mean that the bad ones are forgotten. There was a neighbor who was very young, was in his 20s, just got married. His girlfriend was pregnant. He was a roofer. He fell off a roof and he broke his fucking neck. Paraplegic immediately. What does my grandfather do? He tells his people, go to the house, install ramps, install anything that this guy needs. Luckily, he wasn't a total paraplegic. It was like from the waist down. At first, they thought he was like totally forget about it, but they installed ramps. They installed handrails. They took care of the wife. They made sure their bills were paid for a year and a half in advance. They took care of the hospital bills. My grandfather didn't need to do that. There was no reason for him to help anybody other than the kindness of his heart. So don't fucking tell me that all mob people are evil and bad and do horrible shit, because it's not true. It's number one, I am not mentally ill. That's a line and an excuse that gets thrown out by my haters and other people that don't like me and just want to invent stuff. What I have been through in my life is more than most of you could handle for 1 second. It's not braggadocious. It's just the truth. I have been through stuff nobody has. Serious shit. Things that would have killed most of you. It's not about being tough. It's about being a survivor and fighting. So like I said, I've been through horrible stuff. And yeah, do those things in life that hurt us in different facets sort of mold us into somebody? Absolutely. It doesn't make us fucking mentally ill. And so let's address what was said. Tony Silo told multiple people that he was told by Angel Gotti that I was not taken seriously at all because I was mentally ill. And you know what's funny about that? That's what MRE has said. That's what all my haters say. And he's been saying it too. Now, number one, let me say this. I don't think Angel ever told him that. As a matter of fact, I know 100% she didn't. She would never, never say that. And if somebody has proof that she did, show it. Don't say it, show it. And I know that to be a fact. Secondly, and I'm readily going to admit this publicly because I don't want people to say I'm being tongue-in-cheek about this. The people that came to me and told me this have deleted screenshots and they don't have proof that he said this. Okay? So I'm being very, very transparent out of the gate. But that doesn't mean he didn't do it. Okay? The fact that I don't have screenshots means I can't show them and say, see. But here's the thing. Why would people from Angel's own chat come to me and tell me that? And it's not one or two. It's more than two. And then there are people in other sort of, I don't want to say mob genre communities, but other people that are on YouTube in this sort of MobTube bullshit that have come to me and said he's come in their chat or sent them texts or messages saying ugly, despicable shit about me, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's not like fucking 7 random people all decided on a Tuesday to wake up and start a bunch of drama. It doesn't work that way. Because even the people that didn't like me that you said this shit to said this isn't right. And I'm a junkie too? When did that become my issue? I would love to know when that was my issue. Because that's apparently what he told people. He's told people that I don't know mob history. That's a joke. I know mob history better than most people do. And I laugh when you try to talk about mob stuff on Angel's show, you get everything wrong. It's hilarious to me. You're a bigger fanboy than I am. And I didn't think that was possible if you believe what all the trolls say about me being a fanboy and all. You told people I didn't know Joey Merlino and you did. You don't know Joey. He's never heard of you in his fucking life, pal. Neither is John Gotti Jr. for that. You want to go there? Because I can destroy you right then and there with that. You watch all of these you say, oh, I don't frequent the rat channels. I don't talk to rats. But you know everything that goes on in every fucking informant's channel, and you repeat it on her show as if it's breaking news. I don't watch any rats channels. You do, though. Constantly, because you know everything that's going on. And you talk to the very people that abuse Angel Gotti publicly behind the scenes, you fucking lowlife. That's what you do. It's not being loyal. That's being a gossipy, two-faced fuck is what that is. You talk to the people that abuse her behind the scenes, and you have for a long time. You said despicable things about her to other people, and you called her brother a rat to a bunch of people in texts. A bunch of people. So my question is, you're anti-rat, you're all anti all of this stuff, but yet you say you called her brother a rat. You said despicable stuff about her behind her back. And if you're going to deny that, then I want anybody who he said stuff to start posting those texts all over social media. Show them, because I'm not lying. Tony Silo is, however. Number 3, I'm not a rat, never been a rat. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Show my minutes, show my testimony, show the deal I got if I was a rat. I know Joey better than most of you ever will. He doesn't even know who you are, Silo. Never heard of you. Do I need to keep going to the people you say you know that say they have no clue who you are? So you might say, well, you can't prove it. You don't have screenshots. Well, how do you know it was actually said? Well, it's easy. History. Everything is by behavioral patterns online. And this is what you've done from day one. You went from friggin' mob genre channel to mob genre channel. Until they all got rid of you because you would talk crap about everybody behind their backs. Even the people who fucking hate me came to me and told me things. And they've got no reason to. If they wanted to start a war, they would have said Angel said it. Because regardless of what anybody seems to understand, if Silo, next week is never on Angel's show or decides to move on, her show will just get bigger. Her show will just get bigger. She can do it on her own. She doesn't need a host. She never has, or co-host. But the reality is, it's the way you carry yourself. Your actions, the things you've said behind everybody's backs, that's a sign of what your character is all about. Nothing more, nothing less. And let me guess, everybody decided at the same time to all hate you and invent lies about you and bring them to me full well knowing what I was going to do. And the reality is, whether you actually said it or not, bro, really doesn't matter at the end of the day to me because your behavior on here for the last 5 fucking years shows us you're capable of this. And you have done it to other people. or the threats you have made to people in Angel's chat, bro. I have the screenshots, the threats you make like you're some gangster. It's ridiculous. Or how about when Angel was getting congratulated for 60,000 subs and you got angry because nobody gave you credit for Angel's 60,000 subs, and the fact that you literally said, and I quote in quotes, I do all the work running the channel. You do nothing. Angel Gotti runs her channel and Lee Cole busts his fucking ass. And you want accolades? You want accolades? You legitimately said to someone after they congratulated Angel for 60,000 subs, you were pissed and said, I do all the work running the show. No, you don't. No, you don't. And that's the kind of shit, bro. That's what people don't like. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Angel could do better than having you sitting there. Those are just facts. Those are just facts. And so at the end of the day, you know, people probably wanted me to come on here and scream and name call. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just laying it out. This is what was done. This is what was said. I don't have screenshots of allegedly what he said about me, but people aren't going to just invent that. There would be no reason for them to. They have no axe to grind with Tony Silo. They have no axe to grind with Angel. In fact, it's only the complete opposite of that. Is that the people that came to me said, please, 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 please don't say anything to Angel. Like, I don't want to start problems, but this guy is, you know, threatened me, or this guy said things about you. What are you going to do? Deny it? It's going to be a very bad idea for you to deny any of this. You can, but then if we turn around and show proof, it's not going to be good for you. And so from my perspective, this is where I'm coming from. Okay? Clear, cut, and dry. Clear, cut, and dry. I don't like you. I think you got a big mouth. I think you're a gossipy kitchen bitch. And past that, I want nothing to do with you. And that's a lot of the reason why I stay the hell out of her chat, is because of you. Because you have a way of being nasty to the people in her chat. That's right. In case you guys missed it, I went into Angel Gotti's chat high. I smoked a little marijuana because I have some physical stuff going on. And he treated me like I was a junkie. I wrote, it was, you know how you go to type in the chat and maybe you spell a word wrong or whatever. I was saying, I want to interview Polly because I want her to give dirt on Lee. It was a joke. And I spelled a word wrong and it was all caps or whatever. And I finished my second half of my sentence on the one underneath. As Angel is scrolling through the chat, she sees it and it was misspelled. And she's not really keeping up the chat because she's busy with what's going on. And she's just like, I don't know what he means. And instead of just being like, what do you mean, Spiffy? Silo screams, he's high. He's high, Angel. He's high. As if I'm some fucking junkie that can't form two fucking sentences together. So there you go. And that's where we're at. Now, let me just say this, okay? And this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion based on knowledge that I have, okay? I'm always going to be friends with Angel. Always. We've been friends for over a decade. And that will continue until there's no longer breath coming out of me. We're always going to be friends. And just because I have a problem with somebody who did something doesn't mean our friendship is going to end. So for all of you who think that because I spoke out against this, that all of a sudden she's going to hate me and say nasty things and ban me, you're wrong. She's not going to. Because I'm going to tell you something, and this is the God's honest truth. And I hope, you know, she doesn't get frustrated with me over this. Angel and I have always had one rule about being friends. At any given time, neither one of us ever tells the other one what to do. I never tell her she's not allowed to defend herself, and she never tells me I can't. Doesn't matter who the fuck it is. Because at the end of the day, my relationship and friendship with her is real. Whereas most of you, it's not. And I'm not trying to cause waves. I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm just speaking the fucking truth. And I don't give people the time of day that have shown repeatedly, that they're going to do this to other people. I'm not the only one. There's like 30 or 40 of us. And I don't care if he stays on Angel's show. That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch her show ever again. That's not going to be the case at all. And I'm not going to do what everybody suspects of, oh, he's going to take down the video and be friends with the guy. No, that ain't happening. Because I know he said it. I'm not stupid. I'm absolutely not stupid at all. And so at the end of the day, if you got nothing good to say, seriously, shut your fucking sun-bleached raisin face the fuck up. leave my name the fuck out of your mouth and do whatever it is you do. At the end of the day, I have zero respect for somebody who does the type of shit you do, because that's punk shit. I don't care how you break it down. You can play the Brooklyn tough guy, you can play the Canarsie tough guy, and you'll say, oh, he's just playing a role. Because now you're going to say everything that you've been saying behind my back. Now you're going to say publicly, because that's what cowards do. They wait until they've been exposed to say how they really feel. And that's okay. Because the reality is, I don't have to fucking like you to be friends with other people. But like I said, and just so that we're clear, if there is anybody out there who has been threatened by him in the last couple of months, or if he has said nasty things about people that he's supposedly friends with, send him to mobtalkradioshow@gmail.com, and I will be more than glad to make sure that the people he said it about get them. Because we're not going to play this game anymore. We are not going to play this bully game anymore. I don't care what side of the fucking fence you're on. We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. And that's just the truth. And if you want to respond to me, that's absolutely acceptable. But don't do it on Angel's show. Be a man and do it on your own. Be a man and do it on your own. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Make sure you tell the truth. Make sure you tell the truth, buddy, because you have no idea what I have on you. And it's just that simple. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. On this channel, all I try to do is my content, and I keep it moving. But I've reached the point after 4 years, I'm tired of certain shit. And so if you guys watch the intro, I want you guys to go and watch that independent film we made. It is going to be going huge in the next probably 3 months. We're going to dump a couple of $1,000s into it, make sure everybody sees it. I'm also trying to arrange a viewing in Providence, which I think will be hilarious. We're going to do that too. Since people want to keep playing with me and talking about my family every single day, 365 days a year. At last count, there have been 426 videos made about me by one content creator, and they all keep coming down. And today I wanted to talk about that because I am going to play some clips, because you don't have to believe anything that I tell you. But when the words come out of somebody else's mouth, that's when you should start taking notice of what's going on. Number one, just as a disclaimer, this is not mob content. This is low life content. And I'm not going to sit back and take it. I'm just not anymore. Everything that's ever been said has been proven to be a lie. The mere fact that they're courting somebody now who doesn't even know me by the name of Jarrett, who also was caught sending CP and bestiality to people, and MRE, and all of them know that. That's just totally fitting that you would conglomerate in one cesspool together. Everything he's ever said has been proven to be a lie. And that's just the truth. So you can keep spinning your lies all you want. But I want to make this very clear. I don't attack families. I've done it once or twice to this individual only after being accosted for a year straight. Like I said, at last count, 430 some videos. And none of it makes any sense. And it's stupid. And so let me address this. Yes, I have flagged his channel repeatedly. You cannot use content that's on a paid site and put it on your wall. That's what you did. That's why you got struck. It's not lying. It's just matter of fact. It's just matter of fact. Now, I could sit here and label anybody anything I want to label them. I could tell you story after story about this guy, but I'm going to let him tell his own story, because nothing damages you more than your own fucking mouth. So let's stop pretending this is normal, because none of this is normal. It's sick. It's mental. What's going on with grown men stalking other men on YouTube is beyond pathetic. It's obsessive. It's invasive. It's straight up disturbing. It's a little gay. Got to admit, this isn't content, and this isn't breaking things down. It's fixation. It's compulsion. It's a fat, tubby, short, low life behind a screen glued to my life like it's the only thing giving him purpose. Think about that for a second. Every upload watched, every move tracked, every word picked apart like some desperate detective with nothing better to do. But don't worry, we have detective statements today, buddy. Oh, do we have those? It's not commentary. It's obsession wearing a cheap disguise, and let's be real about it. There's something really psychotic about this whole thing. Because when you're that locked on another man, when your entire presence, your entire being revolves around watching me, reacting to anything I do, analyzing anything I say, you're not creating anything. You're leeching. You're circling somebody else's life because you don't have one worth showing. And we know why. And we're going to talk about that today. But that's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Oh, yeah. And it gets darker, much darker. Because the intensity of it, the constant watching, the fixation, it starts to feel less like criticism and more like something very warped, something evasive, like boundaries don't exist. So you consider yourself a tough guy. So here's what we're going to do. Rough and rowdy. All proceeds go to St. Jude's. And the loser leaves YouTube forever. You down with that? I'll set it up tomorrow. Put your mouth where your fucking hands are. Come on, be a tough guy with me. This is your chance to show everybody how tough you actually aren't. And if you refuse, you're nothing but a fucking coward. Because I will beat the fucking brakes off of you. You have no idea, pal. So stop being a coward, man the fuck up, and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's show everybody how tough you are. You're not going to do it. You'll find some reason. Oh, I'm on medication. I live in Section 8. I can't. Oh, and if you think I don't know your address, you're wrong. So that's the thing. When you fight copyrights, they give me everything. But the problem that you're going to have is your address, A, isn't right, number one. B, and your email goes to another troll. And YouTube knows all about this now. So it's fraudulent. So I expect you'll be off YouTube here shortly. So I'm not worried about it. But here's your chance. Here's your chance to play tough guy with me. Come on, you sure have enough friends that'll back you up. Everybody thinks I'm not a tough guy. All right, come on. I will beat the fucking brakes off of you and then put a cigarette out in the middle of your fucking forehead when I'm done. In fact, I'll smoke the whole fucking time while I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck. But like I said, you guys don't have to believe a fucking word that I say. Retention. And it's not just weird. It's a problem. And YouTube, they feed it. They reward it. They push it. The more obsessive you are, the more attention you get. And so these guys all spiral deeper, deeper, and deeper. More videos, more stalking, more fixation. Until it's not even about content anymore. It's about obsession disguised as entertainment. And it's embarrassing. And it's weak. And it says everything about you, the one who's doing this, doesn't it, mob rats? Tubby rolls. Because strong people don't operate like that. People with purpose don't spend their days glued to another man's existence. They build their own. They move forward. They don't sit in the dark refreshing somebody else's page like it's oxygen. So let's call it what it is. It's not commentary. It's not even analysis. It's sick mental obsession. And the more people tolerate it, laugh at it, and click on it, the worse it's going to get. And so let me tell you something. Out here, a man's supposed to carry himself with some sort of code. You mind your own business, you build your name, you stand on your 2 feet, and that's what I've done. But then you got these guys hiding behind screens, running their mouths, living in Section 8, watching another man day and night like it's their job, calling it exposed like they're breaking cases. Please. Where I come from and where most of you come from, that type of behavior is not respected. It's stalking. That's a guy that's got nothing going on, so he latches on to somebody else just to feel like he exists. Every move, every word, he's there watching, replaying, talking about it like he's a part of the story. And you're not. You're not a part of anything, and you never have been. You're on the outside looking in, obsessing, cramming your face with food and drugs. And that obsession, it shows glowingly. You can hear it in the tone, see it in the uploads, feel it, how personal it gets. It's not business, that's fixation. That's a guy who wakes up thinking about another man who goes to sleep doing the same exact thing. It's not power. It's gay. And it's weakness dressed up out loud. And you want to talk about mob rats exposed? All I see is a guy's exposing himself. Apparently, he likes to do that in front of children, too. Showing the world he can't stand on his own name or his own character. So he's got to ride somebody else's just to get a little bit of attention. That's a bad look, bro. It's a bad look because the real ones, they don't taste like that. They don't hover. They don't sit around breaking down another man's life like it's their purpose. They build, they move, and they elevate. And this other thing, small time. It's desperate. And sooner or later, everybody sees it for what it is. In fact, I got your own people emailing me, telling me what a lowlife you are. Yeah, I should put out those emails and show all your little pals dogging you out. So just keep talking. Keep walking. Keep watching. Keep obsessing, you nut job. But just know that every time you hit upload, you're telling the world exactly who you are. And it ain't what you think. Because not everything needs yelling. Some things you say low because they hit harder. See, there's a certain type out here now. Hides behind a screen, builds a whole identity off another man's life, watches every move, every word, every breath like it's his business, and he calls it exposing. Nah. Where I come from, that kind of attention, that kind of a fixation, it raises questions, not about the target, but actually you. Because normal men don't behave like this. Normal men don't sit there day after day locked in on somebody else, studying them, talking about them, touching themselves, thinking about them, circling them like they're owed something. That's not commentary. That's obsession. Quiet, creeping, can't look away obsession. And the thing about obsession, it always tells on you. You can dress it up, throw titles on it, cross-dress on it like you do. You think you're doing something important, but you're not. People see right through that. Maybe not right away, maybe not all at once, but they see, and they'll see today. They see the pattern, they see the repetition, the way everything leads back to the same name, the same face, the same lies, the same nonsense that you've done over and over and over again. You can't let it go. You're so obsessed. It's cringy. They see the pattern. They see everything that you're doing. It doesn't matter because either way it's loud. And out here, when something's loud like that, it does get noticed. But it's not respected, it's not admired, and it's not taken seriously. Just noticed. So you keep going, keep watching, keep building your little world around another man's existence. But just understand something. The more you do it, the clearer it gets as to who you really are. And once people fully see that, there's no spinning it. There's no hiding it. No talking your way out of it. The label sticks forever. Head. Shame on all of you. Doesn't matter if I like the guy or not. Shame on all of you for even allowing somebody like this to breathe in the same stratosphere as you. It's disgusting. So no matter what you say, Tubby, guess what? You 5'1", 600-pound lowlife, windowless van driving, candy handing out, retard, weirdo, reject, filth bag, degenerate, kid diddler you, because that's what you are. I'm going to give you an offer nobody else has. Here's my offer. You continue to keep talking. You talked about my mother and my family for 3.5 fucking hours this week. Thus far. We're only into what, Tuesday or Wednesday now? So you consider yourself a tough guy. So here's what we're going to do. Rough and Rowdy. All proceeds go to St. Jude's. And the loser leaves YouTube forever. You down with that? I'll set it up tomorrow. Put your mouth where your fucking hands are. Come on, be a tough guy with me. This is your chance to show everybody how tough you actually aren't. And if you refuse, you're nothing but a fucking coward. Because I will beat the fucking brakes off of you. You have no idea, pal. So stop being a coward, man the fuck up, and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's show everybody how tough you are. You're not going to do it. You'll find some reason. Oh, I'm on medication. I live in Section 8. I can't. Oh, and if you think I don't know your address, you're wrong. So that's the thing. When you fight copyrights, they give me everything. But the problem that you're going to have is your address, A, isn't right, number one, B, and your email goes to another troll. And YouTube knows all about this now. So it's fraudulent. So I expect you'll be off YouTube here shortly. So I'm not worried about it. But here's your chance. Here's your chance to play tough guy with me. Come on. You sure have enough friends to back you up. Everybody thinks I'm not a tough guy. All right, come on. I will beat the fucking brakes off of you and then put a cigarette out in the middle of your fucking forehead when I'm done. In fact, I'll smoke the whole fucking time while I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck. But like I said, you guys don't have to believe a fucking word that I say.
Bothering me. So here we all are, third row center, everybody's in suits, and it truly looks like a scene out of Goodfellas. Not me particularly, but these other guys, they're wearing it. And when I say wearing it, you should know what I mean. They are the part, they look the part, and there's a lot of eyeballs. Because, you know, anytime Frankie Valli does a show, there's always mob guys there. Mob guys flock to this guy. They always have. In any event, so we're sitting there, and Frankie Valli comes out, and he starts his show, and immediately, I know he's not singing. And, you know, you can obviously tell that a backtrack is being played because he sounds like he's fucking 20, 30 years old again. Not to mention his lips were not matching the words. So that's a big fucking problem. So immediately, you know, with my personality, I start laughing. I can't stop laughing. And I sort of look to my left and, you know, I see all the mob guys and they're all like snapping their fingers and kind of singing along. They're very happy. They're seeing Frankie Valli. They're bringing their girlfriends, their wives, whatever the case may be, and they're having a great fucking time. Keep in mind, most of these guys are like 20 years plus older than me, so they're old guys. So the guy to my left leans over and he says to me, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" And, you know, asking me that at that particular time only makes me fucking laugh harder. And so now I'm obnoxiously laughing, snorting, tears are coming down my face. And here you got serious guys. These are serious fucking guys. These guys are killers. And they cannot tell that they're being hosed by Frankie Valli. They think he's singing, but he's not. keep in mind, it was like $200 for these tickets a piece. So I lean over and I say, nothing, I'm fine. So the show keeps going on, and after each song, Frankie Valli is panting like a dog in heat, like he actually just sang all these songs, which makes me about want to piss myself, and I'm laughing even harder. Finally, the guys start, they lean forward, and they're looking at me like, behave yourself, you prick. And it's like, they stare daggers at me, and it just makes me laugh even harder. So finally, the guy to my left goes, knock off the shit. This guy's a class act. And I'm like, yeah? And I said, look, watch his fucking lips, Ace. He's not singing. We paid $200 to watch Milli Vanilli. That's really what we've done. And he just stares at me like I just fucking killed Jesus in front of people. And then he goes back to watching Frankie, trying to figure out whether or not I'm right or I'm wrong. Frankie Valli goes back to singing, and suddenly I see my buddy to my left lean over to his left. His eyes open wide, his mouth is agape, and a scowl begins to appear on his face. Now he knows. Now he knows. We paid $200 to watch Milli Vanilli. So he leans over, tells one guy, and you know how this is going to go. He tells this guy tells this guy tells that guy, and then suddenly I'm starting to see everybody's face change. And the guy in the far end is the one guy you don't want to fucking piss off for any reason. And so what ends up happening is they all kind of start to figure it out at the same time. And the guy in the far end, like I said, is somebody you don't want to piss off. And I guess he comes to sort of the realization that he's been punched in the nutsack. He leans forward and he stares at me like I killed Jesus. Because now it's my fault. I'm the one that fucking ruined the whole night. So in mid-song, I think of this thing of working my way back to you, babe, or whatever the fuck. Mid-song, this guy stands up and he starts to usher his wife, and for all of us, we're out of here. And the thing is, we're in the middle, so of course we're standing up while Frankie Valli's mid-song creating this fucking commotion of like working our way out the fucking door to the aisle, out to the door. Next thing I know, I hit the aisle, I start moving up a little bit, and we're sort of moving, sort of together. We're bumping past people trying to get to the aisle. And as we get right towards the aisle, this guy on the end looks up and screams at Frankie Valli, "You fucking fraud, you fucking jerk off." Frankie Valli continues to do his lip syncing shit, but he's staring at this guy because he might have recognized him. I'm not really sure. But Frankie looks at him kind of confused and is still trying to lip sync his way through it. And then just kind of goes right back to prancing on the fucking stage. And the entire way back, I hear from behind me, cocksucker, jerk-off, mesophonuke, fucking baldy. Like, this guy's irate. So we get out to the main lobby of the casino. And he pulls me aside, he looks at me and says, "How did you know? Why didn't you tell me this prancing cocksucker was faking this? I wouldn't have paid $200 for this." And I looked at him, I said, "Look, if I had told you, you would have told me I was full of shit." And he starts laughing a little bit. He's easing up. And he says, "No more concerts for you. We're not taking you anywhere. Christ, you're ruining my childhood." And he says to me, it's the best part. He says, "What's next, Jeff? Liberace was gay?" And I looked at him. I said, "Yeah, actually, he was."
If I'm going to get in the car with anybody and you got something stupid in your car, let me know ahead of time so I can at least make the choice of whether I want to get in your car or not. Because there was a situation where I was coming back from Philly area with somebody who had a lot of cocaine in their trunk, didn't tell me, and he stopped to like fix his license plate on the fucking interstate. And I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" Yeah. Well, I didn't want to tell you. I figured you'd get nervous. Like I said, if we get pulled over, you're taking the rap for all of this. Like I'm not. That's my rule about that. I remember I want to say I was 25, 26. Me and a friend of mine went to a club. And we drank way too much. We shouldn't have drove, right? It was Mardi Gras. We got the beads, having a great time. We're on the way home and it starts to rain. And there's an embankment that goes down like 40 feet. And I was going too fast. And I was drunk, right? So I'm admitting that. It was a horrible thing. Thank God there was nobody on the roads. Right. Hit the brakes. Car goes to the left. We go tumbling down the embankment, right? The fucking airbags explode. There's smoke everywhere. Like we should have been killed. We both get out of the car and look at each other. And I'm like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so." I was like, "Man, we had some fun tonight." I don't care about an $80,000 car I just destroyed that I know I'm going to like take it in the ass on insurance wise. Because the only thing I could tell a cop is, well, the roads were slick, I lost control, whatever. But we're wearing Mardi Gras beads. And it didn't dawn on me at first. A lady that was up on the freeway passing stopped and says, "Oh my God, are you guys okay?" I called 911. I'm like, "Why did you call the cops? Are you fucking stupid or what?" Like, I will call like 911, but give me 40 minutes to let the booze get out of my system. So we're standing there. We see all of the cops and state troopers coming, and I'm checking him. There's no blood on him, no blood on me. And I took off my Mardi Gras beads and chucked them as far as I could, right? and I'm sticking my finger down my mouth, trying to puke as quick as I can to get up, whatever, which is only going to make it smell like more booze, right? So I had in the car, I had mouthwash. So I'm searching through a car that is completely obliterated, glass everywhere, and I find it, and I'm chugging it, swallowing it, give it to him. Cops are coming down the embankment. They're walking down with their flashlights. Hey, you guys all right? I said, Tom. He goes, what? Get rid of the goddamn Mardi Gras beads, because he still had them on. Because they would automatically say, okay, they're coming from Mardi Gras. They've been drinking. They showed up, and I'm all right. I'm all right. You guys been drinking? I says, yeah, I had a beer at the club like 4 hours ago, but now I just lost control. Thankfully, they didn't breathalyze us. Yeah, we'd have been fucking done. And that was the last time I ever fucking had a beer and got in a car. Because I was like, you know what? I could have killed somebody like this. Even though I was only like 3 exits from where I needed to be, the cops said, you guys shouldn't have walked out of this. Because we weren't wearing seatbelts either. So how he did, he's 6'8". So how he didn't get flung out the windshield or flung on top of me is whatever. But he looked at me. I said, "You all right?" He goes, "Oh, I'm great, sir. I can feel my dick. We're good to go."
Yeah, and they say, in fact, one of the friends I was just talking about, he was nuts, totally drunk coming home. I mean, nailed a fucking telephone pole, cracked it in half. You would have seen the car. You would have thought he was dead. Yep. Right? The ambulance guy, or the doctor, I'm going to say, told him, it's kind of weird, though, being as drunk as you were, not tensing up in your body, being
right, saves you, right?
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
The best part of the story is, so the ambulances show up, and they take us 2 different ambulances to the hospital. They put us in the same room together, like the same ER little kiosk. Yeah. And they're like, "Are you okay?" They're checking us all out. I'm like, "I'm all right. I'm all right." They're like, "Okay, we're going to move you 2 back to this other room after they did x-rays." And my father was called by, I think, his mom or dad. They're like, "Yeah, they were in a really, really fucking bad accident, but they're okay." And my father's like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" So my father comes racing down, and me and my buddy are still fucking drunk. And the nurses knew it. They knew we were fucking just hammered. And I was like, "Hey, Tom." He's like, "Yes, you want a sword fight?" Ha ha ha. We're just being dirty and whatever. And I hear, "Jesus Christ," coming down the hall. And I'm like, "Oh God, it's my father." My father walks in, and I think my buddy Tom's dad was there. And he's like, "Hey, Mr. S, can I talk to the boys for a minute?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So my dad shuts the fucking door, and he says, "I know you 2 were drunk tonight." He goes, "You ever do this stupid shit again, I'll fucking kill them both of you." He goes, "Jeff, how bad's the car?" I said, "It's totaled." And he goes, better the car than you 2. He goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "I know you 2 are shit-faced drunk. I know you 2. You may be fooling Tom's dad. You're not full of mine." And Tom's dad opens the door and goes, "I'm shit-faced too," because he showed up to the hospital drunk.
That's great, man. That's great. That's funny. Listen, so before we wrap this up, did you see, because you're into the superstitious stuff.
Sure. That I always use, okay? If we're all going to go rob a bank together, I decide I'm going to drive you guys to the bank. You guys go into the bank. I full well know 100%. If you guys get caught, we're all getting arrested. So I sit in the car. You guys go inside and rob the bank. Then you get in the car and we drive off. One of you guys gets sloppy and drops a map right back. It sounds like a fucking Scooby-Doo episode. And somebody finds a map and they find out where we live. First of all, I got in the car knowing what we were going to do. I knew the ramifications that somebody could get shot. I'm just as guilty. So what gives me the right to go, "Oh, wait. I only agreed to fucking drive to McDonald's. I didn't agree to stick the milkshake up the guy's ass. I didn't agree to that." And that's my point. You know what you're getting involved in when you step inside of that world. So you take your pinch like a fucking man and you go to jail. You don't tell on people. People only tell on people because they're weak. "He made me do it." No, he didn't. If you're, first of all, if you're going to do organized crime, stay away from the rat shit. Don't even talk to rats. But if you are, talk to all of them. You know what I mean? Don't take a stance. Let your audience decide. Because your audience isn't really here to lean one way or the other on what your opinion might be. They just want to know that you're just genuinely and authentically being yourself. And number 3, the most important thing, don't be afraid to just be yourself. Give a little bit of yourself. By all means, don't tell people you're into 6 women at once with a fucking steel dildo and a barking chihuahua in the corner. Don't tell people that shit. Nobody wants to hear that shit. But give of yourself. Don't be afraid to let people in just a little bit. You can control what comes out your fucking mouth. So share a little bit. Let them get to know you. I think that's kind of the biggest problem with some of these creators. With James, you don't get to really know a whole lot about him. He's very kind of stoic, and this is what we're doing today, A, B, C, D, E. You know what I mean? Maybe you pick up some of his quirks and what he likes to laugh at and stuff like that. Whereas you take the complete opposite of that. Jeff Nadeau should have never shown anybody who he was. And that's my point. because I feel like people watch Jeff Nadeau not because he's good at what he does, but because he's a fucking walking train wreck. And they go there to see who he's going to flip out on next, how they can make fun of him. And that's just true. It's just the truth. Don't be afraid to be yourself. You know what I mean? I remember you first had the paintings. Oh, yeah. And, that's the other thing. Everybody keeps saying that I have organized crime photos all over my house. I don't have a single fucking gangster on my wall. You guys want to laugh? You guys want to laugh? All the trolls always point to that Joey Merlino thing that I had in my house. Guess where that is now? That's in the Philadelphia Social Club. That's right. It's Joey's. He has it and has had it for years. So much for that. I got gangsters on my wall shit. If I look around, I got my father. I got a bunch of horror stuff. Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Dean Martin. I think the only gangster thing is my cousin from a lineup back in the 60s. Because I just think it's cool. It's nostalgic. Other than that, there's not a goddamn gangster thing in my house. Nothing. My favorite pop story is telling people in Philly that Rocky is not real. Oh, that's a great one. That's a fucking great one. Do you guys want to hear that story real quick before we go? Press number 1 if you want to hear the pop story about Philadelphia. It'll be very brief, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Put the number 1 in there if you guys want to hear that. Oh yeah, I got a great Elvis. I got the '68 comeback special. I've got Sinatra drinking at a table. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. I got so much crap. Okay, you guys want to hear? All right. So here's the deal. Here's the Philly story with Rocky. All right, and I probably won't tell this as well as I did when I tell it the original time. Because some people tell me the stories just get funnier and funnier each time I tell it. So let me just give you a little bit of a background. My father was a Navy guy. He was a Vietnam veteran. He was a war hero, Bronze Star, Silver Star, which is big time shit in Vietnam. He drove I wish Stone Sailor was around because he would tell me he was a river rat, right? If you guys remember in any Vietnam story, the Swift boats that had like the 50 cows on the back, my father was a commanding officer in Vietnam, and a part of his job was to go through these lagoons where these mines were laid by the Viet Cong, and stuff like that. My father did, I think, 2 tours, so he was there a long time. Silver Star, Bronze Star recipient, no joke. Got the Freedom Medal, whole bunch of crap. Then he went into civil service and worked in what we call the black world, not spy shit, the black world stuff. His clearance was 5 times higher than the president of the United States. He dealt with NSA. He dealt with black world operations. He dealt with CIA. He dealt with everything. What he specifically did, I just don't know. And the reason why I'm prefacing all of this to say that to you is because my father wasn't a hardcore military guy. He was a flag waving guy. He was a POW MIA guy. He loved his country. He loved the Navy. That's just who he was. But he wasn't a militant military guy. He was very much like me. I'm very much my father. We're both outspoken. We both say crazy shit. He just wasn't the criminal and I was. That's just the truth. That's just the goddamn truth. So my brother was living in Philadelphia, which he doesn't live there. He lives outside of Philadelphia now. My nieces and nephews are all from that area because he married his wife and they moved to that area. And my father, I think, I might be telling this wrong, but I think we were going to an Eagles game or a Phillies game. I think it was a Phillies game. It wasn't an Eagles. It was a Phillies game because they were playing the Cardinals. And my father was a St. Louis Cardinals fan. Anyway, so my father wants a goddamn cheesesteak. So we had to go all the way, we're in South Philadelphia. We're going to the ballpark anyway. And my father wants a cheesesteak. Now, when you order from Geno's or Pat's, I don't give a shit which one you go to. You either order that sandwich with or without. With is with whiz and everything that comes with it. Without is basically fucking plain. And my brother told my father, I knew because I had been hanging out in South Philly for years. My brother told my father, when you get up to this line, not that my father was old and not that he was senile, but sometimes you just got to, because my father likes to do things his way, right? First of all, and there's a line around the goddamn block. So you're going to stand there for 40 fucking minutes for a sandwich that's either going to give you the shits instantaneously or it's going to bind you up so fucking long, you're going to take a shit a month and a half later and be like, I'm never eating that shit again. So we're in line. And my brother keeps telling my father, with or without, with or without. And my father's like, I got it. I was in the fucking Navy. I killed Vietnamese people, Viet Cong. I don't need your, all of this. He goes to this whole spiel about what an American soldier he is and how tough he is. I can snap your neck like a twig. Just all this bullshit, right? And you got to remember something too. My father married into an Italian family from Providence that was humongous, huggy, kissy people, serious fucking people. So my father had to kind of had that, what's the word I'm looking for? He sort of had that attitude that he got from my relatives. So anyway, long story short, we're finally getting closer and closer. I go up, I order mine without blah, blah, blah. I get my shit moved to the left. My brother goes up, blah, 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 orders, boom, goes to the left. We go and sit at the table. My father walks right the fuck up to this counter, full well knowing, with or without. It's not that goddamn complicated. He says, how you doing? They're like, good. What can we get for you? Now is your opportunity to say with or without, Pop. Not my father. He legit looks at them and says, so I want this and I want this and I want this and I don't want that. And the lady goes, next. Just threw him out of line. My father goes 8 shades of fucking purple, red, with rage. And he walks over and goes, I just tried to basically order a sandwich, and this fucking lady over here, she just says next, blah, blah, blah. And my brother goes, Pop, I told you want half of mine? He goes, no, fuck these people, blah, blah. And he's getting louder. And he's not like me. Me, I get unhinged. He has a certain way of getting unhinged. It's like a rattle. It starts in his toes, gets up to his hands, and his head starts to twitch. And you know it's coming. And the only other person I've seen that does that is Sonny Mazzone. He's the same way. Once Sonny Mazzone starts shaking his head and muttering to himself, you know shit's about to hit the goddamn fan. So we're sitting there. He says, fuck it, I'll just eat half of yours. So he's eating half of my brother's sandwich. We finished. We got to get to the game. So in order to leave, we parked on the other side. So we got to walk around and go to the car. And my brother's a little bit ahead. He's getting in the car, blah, 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 blah. I look over, my father's still hovering. And he's standing by the front of, I think it was Pat's or Geno's. I can't remember which one. I think it was Pat's. And he's standing there and he's not budging. And I could tell he's pissed. And I looked at my brother's, and I don't want to say my brother's name. I said, hey, blah, 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 blah. I said, he's going to say something stupid. Brother's like, nah. You got to understand something in Philadelphia. You can't fuck around down there. You just can't. So my father decides in his infinite wisdom to make a scene. And of course, I light a cigarette and I'm laughing because I know what he's going to do. So he's standing there and he walks right back up, cuts in front of 50 people. He's like, let me tell you something about you. I come here, I serve this country, blah, 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 blah. And she's just rolling her eyes like she doesn't want nothing to do. So my father stops and goes, yeah, you want to know what all of your fucking problems is? You motherfuckers think Rocky is real. He's not. Fuck you. We get in the car and people are throwing shit at the car and my father's laughing it up because he thought telling them that Rocky wasn't real was the best way to handle that shit. Because people in Philly think Rocky's real. They really do. It's almost similar to the night that my father legitimately took me to a wrestling match and told the motherfucker sitting next to me, who was this big shit-eating redneck who was drinking beer and chewing tobacco, literally stopped and looked at my father looks at him and goes, you know wrestling's fake, right? The look on this guy's face, like he just ripped this guy's fucking soul. He goes, oh yeah, they're all going to have a beer after the fucking match. This is all fake. You think they can really hit each other with a fucking chair and they live? And he goes, and I heard Sam Houston likes to give blowjobs to Nikita Koloff, who was a Russian. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like 11. And this guy just put his beer down and just walked away. And he probably never watched another fucking wrestling match in his life. And I was laughing about it. I said, Pop, what the fuck are you thinking? He goes, I just like people to know what the truth is. You know, it's not a bad thing if he's living in fantasy land, but come on. Real is real, fake is fake. And this shit's fake. That's my father. That's what he did. And yeah, absolutely. My papa's 94 and he fought in Korea. I have some good stories to tell you. Yeah, that's awesome. My great uncle Phil was in the Pacific. He was a pilot. And my great uncle Bud was killed in World War II off the tip of North Africa. They got sunk by a Nazi submarine. So I have military throughout my family. My grandfather, my dad's father was a colonel in the Air Force during World War II. He's a big deal too. So there you go.